I think that the ad for President Biden pretty much writes itself because there were 34 counts, all of them guilty. If you flip to any news channel, the anchor was reading count one guilty, guilty, guilty. I mean, he can just splice that up 34 times and run that as an ad. But if you're voting for Biden, you're part of the base, the Democratic base. It's not like this is changing your opinion of Trump. You weren't voting for him to begin with. If you're part of Trump's base, you're pretty much unmovable. So how much really is this a political liability for Donald Trump?
Again, we just don't know. Let me give you a concrete example of that. I think a lot of people will look back to the O.J. Simpson trial, right, in which there was a deep division in the country. In that case, it was a racial division. I can remember it well because I went into the political science main office at the University of Chicago, where I was teaching at an office down the hall, and most people were kind of silent about it. But there was a person I had a very high regard for, African American. She was the chief administrative assistant in the office. And I closed the door and I asked her, could she say privately what she thought? She thought he was absolutely innocent. And I think the polling showed that over 80% of African Americans thought he was innocent. It may have been as high as 90. What's interesting, and well over 80, maybe 90% of whites thought he was guilty. What's interesting is that over time, the African American, if you poll them, they now, a vast majority think O.J. Simpson was guilty. So people's opinions change over time. I think in the case of O.J. Simpson, the reason that I'm bringing it up is not only that it divided the country, but there was a sense that people divided into their clusters, into their packs, and they didn't want to disagree with their packs. There weren't people who were living on our block who thought Trump is bad, but I don't want to go to this party because I don't think this was a good conviction. I don't think this was right. I think they will do what you said, Brittany. And if you were going to vote for Biden, you were still going to vote for Biden. If you were going to vote for Trump, you were still. But I think it will increase the turnout, maybe for both candidates, but certainly for Trump. And there's an interesting question about whether it will help him peel off groups that feel, I think often accurately, that they've been mistreated by the U.S. justice system, and that begins with African American men.